Getting rid of Speaker Kevin McCarthy has become nothing short of an unmitigated disaster. If you recall, Matt Gaetz was a holdout for days on end, requiring certain conditions in order to nominate Kevin McCarthy. This involved no continuing resolutions, individual spending bills only, votes on balancing the budget, votes on term limits, a subpoena sent to Hunter Biden immediately, and to begin the impeachment process of Joe Biden. Since McCarthy was ousted because he wasn't following these rules, I'm not sure that we've done any of them under the new leadership. We're certainly still discussing continuing resolutions. This new border bill is anything but a single issue bill. We haven't balanced any budgets. There's been no talk about term limits, besides Nikki Haley wanting to raise the retirement age. Hunter Biden is not held in contempt of Congress despite defying his subpoena. And, well, that impeachment of Joe Biden... Not only did Kevin McCarthy agree to those terms, there were 7 bills that were promised to get heard on the House floor. One bill looking at the IRS, another bill that would authorize the Secretary of Homeland Security to deny entry to illegal aliens, another bill that would prohibit us sending oil to China from our own strategic reserves, a bill to amend the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act, a bill that would require background checks of all legal immigrants automatically sent to ICE, a bill that would prohibit taxpayer abortions, and a bill to amend Title 18, which would compel a healthcare worker to care for a child properly in the case of a botched or failed abortion. So let me get this straight. We oust McCarthy and all work on separate spending bills has stopped. Spending reductions have now officially been swapped for spending increases, and warrantless spying of the FBI through the FISA court has officially been expanded. The GOP that has the public's interest in mind is officially fading, and this is my biggest concern going into 2024. If we can't even find a majority of congressmen to be on the side of the American people, then we are going to have a very hard time avoiding socialist bureaucratic government. And that's the direction that we're heading. Our ever-growing, ever-expanding centralized federal control, they have a vested interest in getting bigger, seizing more power. And that's why transparency, single-issue bills, it's so important. The media, the Democrats, they're telling us that we don't care about the border. But in reality, it's the Republicans' #1 priority. The reason we don't support the border bill is because it's funding Ukraine and Israel with more than 70% of the funds. Imagine if we put $118 billion into the border. So with Speaker Kevin McCarthy out, it hasn't been very good. We haven't done any of the things that he promised. He never did any of the things that he promised. And we're going back down this trajectory of voting for omnibus bill packages that don't fund what they're intended to. In fact, they fund the other half of the world. America is the bastion of democracy. There's no doubt about that. But if we fail to secure our southern borders and we're pumping in millions of illegals every year, well, we're going to be unable to secure our homeland. And that's why this is so important. No continuing resolutions. Individual spending bills only. Vote on balancing the budget. Vote on term limits for congresspeople. Get Hunter Biden into the courtroom. And let's get moving on that impeachment of Joe Biden. Thanks very much for listening. Make sure you follow.